What is up, producers? Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at one of my new favorite toys, and that's going to be Humanoid by Baby Audio. Now this plugin just came out and it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm loving playing with it. Pretty much everything Baby Audio comes out with is fire, but this one is just next level for vocal processing. So what exactly is Humanoid? It's a vocal transformer and hard tuner plugin. So basically its main purpose is to take vocals and manipulate them in a super aggressive way and use pitch correction in an over-the-top way. First, we're going to take a tour of the plugin and look at all the features and the functions within it, and then we're going to talk about some pretty cool ways we can use it. Quick announcement before we hop in, I want to let you guys know that I just dropped a completely free monthly care package system. The link's in the description. Every month I'm going to give you guys a free sample pack, a free Ableton device, some deals on some free plugins, and a bunch of other stuff
for free.
So if you're interested in that, the link's down in the description. Let's get into the video. All right, let's talk Humanoid. This plugin was made by Baby Audio, which across the board makes fire stuff. Everything they make is tight. So what exactly does this plugin do? We know it's a hard tuner, so basically we can input any signal that's gonna tune it in a very aggressive and robotic way. What else it can do that's super unique is it can actually transform your vocal into a waveform. So we can meld your vocal into an actual synthesizer. Super crazy, super unique, and it does this with a resynthesis engine that follows the tuning. So basically your vocal goes from tuning into a resynthesized engine, and then we have a number of different effects we can put on it as well. So the first section we're going to see on the left here is going to be the pitch section. And this is basically our tuning engine. So any incoming vocals, it's going to hard tune them. So the first option we're going to see over here is pitch. This is going to allow us to select the master key of whatever we're working with. In this case, this vocal loop is going to be in D minor. So we're going to select D minor. And now it's going to lock it to the scale for us. Now you'll notice we have a set of keys up here, and there's a couple different reasons we have these. First off, because it's going to tell us what notes are within our key that we've selected down here. Second is because we actually have some options down here, one being single note. So if we click this, it's going to lock it to our root note. So as you can hear, there's no longer any alternate notes. It's only playing the root note. This is pretty cool if you kind of want those monotone, kind of robotic vocals, and just keep it right at your root note. Now we have mono over here. We also have duo. And what this does is now it's going to play two notes. So we can play two notes at the same time, and we can move these around as we want. So next we have the MIDI note, which is actually going to allow us to control the pitches via a MIDI keyboard or any other kind of MIDI trigger. Next below here we have a couple settings, first one being quantize. So quantize is the retune speed parameter. And anything with a gear icon, we can click it and it's going to give us some more options. So we can click this gear icon here, and we have attack, hold, and polarity. So the Robotify control is going to remap the harmonic content. So this is going to give it a more robotic kind of tune and timbre to it. And once again, we have the gear icon, so we can click this and get some additional options here. Metallic flat, emphasis, denoise. Then we have formant. So this is going to be a typical formant shifting algorithm, where if we turn it down, it's going to make it sound deeper and it's going to shift the formant down. And if we move it upward, it's going to make it sound higher. So already with just the pitch controls, we can do a whole lot to affect the vocals, make them sound robotic, make them sound kind of choppy. One really cool feature I like about this pitch mechanism here is we can actually select a custom scale. So let's say we're maybe playing only 3 notes out of a scale. We can actually come in here and select what 3 notes we want to play, and it's going to stick to those. Also, when we go from chromatic to minor or major, it's going to do bigger jumps because there's bigger spaces between the different notes we're playing. So it's going to give it that really kind of choppy, robotic, like Daft Punk kind of sound. So next, let's talk about kind of the star of the show, and that's going to be the synthesis box over here. This is going to allow us to transform our vocal from something that's already pitched to an actual sound wave. So you'll notice when it's all the way to the left, it's just a hardly tuned vocal. And if we crank this all the way to the right, it's more or less just using your vocal to affect the waveform and kind of be a carrier for the waveform. unique function of the synthesis box is you can actually choose your own waveform or import a custom waveform. So if we click here, we have a number of different options. Here's a comb one. So this shape control down here boosts and reduces even and odd harmonics. Then we have the stretch knob down here, which is going to allow us to alter the waveform by distributing the samples from side to side. So it's a really cool way to kind of implement some movement in your waveform. Then we have this node shift option down here, which is going to detune your signal in relation to the original signal. And then this last control over here, octave, will give you a octave up or octave down layer. Then we have a master dry wet down here. Next, let's talk about our filter box over here. Now, what Baby Audio says about this filter box is instead of dampening or boosting the audio signal, it affects the harmonic content of the vocal. So basically what that means is the filter applies to the harmonic content, which is a pretty cool concept. Then we have our standard filter controls, high pass, low pass. We can boost frequencies. We can widen our Q here. This is another cool way to kind of give your vocals some movement in real time. So cool little filter effect down here. Then we have effects. So we have a number of different effects down here that are really perfect for vocals. First we have widen. So this is more of like a chorus ensemble kind of effect. Warble is going to be vibrato. Then these last two controls in here are probably two of my favorites, and this is going to be freeze and buffer. So freeze is going to be like a stutter effect, and buffer is going to determine the settings for the stutter effect. So we can make it chop super quick or kind of slower. We can do it time-based, or we can also do it based on the BPM of the track. So then we have this utility box down here, and we have a couple pretty cool settings in here. The first one's going to be range. So this is going to determine where Humanoid picks up the pitches from. So we can kind of select the pitch range where it's choosing to tune from. Then we have DS. So as we're implementing all these different effects, you can get some really harsh frequencies, and they kind of were one step ahead of this and adding a de-esser to it. So this is a really good job of kind of reducing some of those harsh frequencies that build up after you've tuned it and transformed it into a waveform and all that stuff. Then we have a gate, so we can kind of gate stuff out, like the quieter your sounds. This is really cool for kind of like a chopping effect. Then smoothing blends the input time. So we can smooth that out and kind of make it a little bit more mellow if we'd like to. All right, so now that we've kind of walked through the features, let's hop in and have some fun with it. So when we toss this on a typical vocal chop or like a vocal run, it can really kind of make it robotic and almost blend it into being like a synthesizer as opposed to like a vocal chop, which I love to do because you can kind of like maintain the integrity of having vocals and the familiarity in your track while also kind of introducing like a new electronic element. I got some vocal chops here from Lox Chatterbox, and this kind of gives us like a nice little stab pluck to work with. So that's one pretty cool way to use it. Here we have some vocal runs. So we have like a nice little vocal run, and then we have like a little kind of vocal chop we made.
Alright,
And you'll notice in this little vocal chop, it's actually implementing little pitch bends all by itself. So before it didn't have any kind of movement at all to it. So that's a cool little Easter egg, is you can kind of get those artifacts that's kind of giving you that change in that movement over time, which is pretty tight. And in automating the synthesizer box, you can actually get some really cool movement as well, which I'll show you down here in another example. So in automating up and down the transform feature, you can really kind of blend that vocal into a synthesizer and give it some nice movement and some nice kind of like transformation. So overall, like, I'm really enjoying this plugin. I really love to tune stuff. I love to auto-tune stuff. I love to make stuff robotic. So if you mess with this vocal style, I definitely recommend grabbing it. Overall, I would say this plugin's pretty tight. I'm really enjoying playing with it. It's pretty versatile, so there's all kinds of stuff you can do, from like pitching to tuning to transforming stuff into like a waveform, which super unique. I don't think I have another plugin that does that. Definitely check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.
More.